Hi everyone. We are going to be working a little more closely today on your compare and contrast paragraph for your text structure essay. You guys are off to a great start, but as I was reading through some of your paragraphs, I realized that we need some extra help on it. So I sent a digital version of this compare and contrast all about Chihuahuas and Collies. If you can take yours out, pull it up on your computer, or if you printed it out, that would be awesome. We're going to read through this paragraph together and kind of work through the similarities and differences of Chihuahuas and Collies together. So let's get started, okay? The paragraph says, Chihuahuas and Collies are both popular dog breeds in the United States. Both breeds are great with children and protective of their homes. Chihuahuas are very small dogs and can be quite difficult to train since they are usually not very intelligent. By contrast, Collies are medium to large dogs and are known for their great intelligence and trainability. Both dogs come in short and long-haired varieties. Okay, what I like to do, and you can do this with me if you want to, I'm going to take 3 different colors of pens just because I'm a visual person and I would like to organize my paragraph in color. So I'm going to use purple to show all about Chihuahuas, all right? So above this first little part of the Venn diagram here, I'm going to write Chihuahuas. I would like it if you would write that too. So you can see I just wrote Chihuahuas up above this part. That means that anything from this paragraph that's specific to Chihuahuas is going to go in this part of the Venn diagram, okay? I'm going to choose pink to show both, and this will help me to kind of distinguish the things that Chihuahuas and Collies have in common. So I just wrote both above the center of the Venn diagram. Now any information that is for both Chihuahuas and Collies will go right here in the middle of the Venn diagram. And then the last color that I'm going to choose is blue. And blue is going to signify all about Collies. So I've got my label. I'm ready to go. I'm going to go back through the paragraph, and can anybody tell me how this would be helpful for our informative essay that we're writing on about animals? Yeah, we can use this same stuff. So this is just a paragraph that's information about Chihuahuas and Collies, much like maybe your paragraphs have been or your research has been about the animal that you chose for your informational paper. So we can use this same exercise when we're writing our own informational papers. Okay, so back to this Chihuahuas. All about Chihuahuas. I'm going to go back through the paragraph and I'm going to underline in purple anything that has to do with Chihuahuas. Okay, so here we go. It says Chihuahuas and Collies are both popular dog breeds. That word both tells me that this is not just for Chihuahuas. So I'm not going to underline anything yet. Both breeds are great with children and protective of their homes. Nope, still haven't found anything. Chihuahuas are very small dogs. There it is. Okay, I'm going to underline this. Chihuahuas are very small dogs and can be quite difficult to train since they are usually not very intelligent. Now, on your digital version or the one that you printed out because you're kind of like me and like to see it, you can see that I just underlined these sentences about Chihuahuas in purple. And then I'm going to go down here and make a little note, okay, in the Chihuahua column. So right here, I'm going to say small dogs, difficult to train, and they're not very intelligent. You guys, I have a Chihuahua here at my house. She's not very intelligent. I didn't know it. Okay, I'm gonna move on. It says by contrast. Ooh, that's a really good signal word. That tells me that's a difference. The word contrast means very different. So it says by contrast, collies are medium to large dogs and are known for their great intelligence and trainability. I just found all of my information that's all about collies. And I was using blue to underline. So I'm going to take the blue and I'm going to underline that sentence all about collies. Then I'm going to make a couple of notes down in the Venn diagram. So collies are medium to large dogs. They're known for their great trainability and intelligence. So I'm going to put intelligence, great trainability. Okay. Now the one column that I have not filled out yet is the both. Basically, anything else that's in this paragraph that I have not underlined is probably going to go in the both category. I'll go make sure, but I'm going to start underlining. So the very top part says both breeds are great with children and protective of their homes. So I'm going to underline that. And Chihuahuas and Collies are both popular dog breeds. The very bottom sentence says both dogs come in short and long-haired varieties. So I'm going to make a few little notes in my Venn diagram. They're popular. They can be short-haired or long-haired. And they're great with kids. Protective. I know my Chihuahua's protective. Okay, you can see that I have filled out my Venn diagram, and I hope that you have too. Now, let's take this concept that we've just done. I want you to grab your article on the animal that you've chosen to do research on for our informational paper, okay? So I'm going to get mine. I want you to get yours out. If you can show me your article or give me a thumbs up that you've got yours ready to go so that we can get started, that would be great. Okay, so I've got my article. Now I'm doing research on polar bears, and I have found tons and tons of research. And so I've got quite a few things that I have printed out for my informational paper. And I need to write my compare and contrast paragraph. So here we go. I found a great article about that's comparing brown bears and polar bears. And I found out that polar bears don't hibernate and brown bears do. I found out that both polar bears and brown bears lead solitary lives, meaning they don't form any mating relationships. So what I did, so that you can see, and you can do this digitally or you can do it printed out, it's totally up to you. I took the same colors of pens that I used on our Chihuahua and Collie's paragraph, and I started underlining all of the information that are for specifically brown bears and specifically polar bears, and then the things that they share. So you can see there what I've done. I want you to take just a few minutes to do this on your own. And then I sent you all last week a file that had writing frames. Writing frames are a lifesaver. If you're a struggling writer, this is amazing. If you are a gifted writer, this is amazing. A lot of times we've got all of these ideas and we can't quite get it organized. Writing frames can help us get it organized. So I want you to take out the compare and contrast writing frame. If you've been filling this out digitally, great. I will want to see it by the end of the paper when we turn in our full paper. I want to see your writing frame, so you'll need to turn those in digitally, or you can send me a picture of them, however you want to show me that you've been filling out your writing frame. But here's my writing frame, and I'm just going to read it to you so that you can kind of have an idea of what my information sounds like, okay? So I put all of my information about polar bears and brown bears into this writing frame, and this is what it came up with. Polar bears and brown bears are similar to each other in several ways. Both lead solitary lives, meaning they don't form mating relationships. They stay with a mate only during breeding cubs. Also, they both are suited to the Alaskan climate. However, they do have some differences. For example, brown bears hibernate 5 to 8 months out of the year. Another difference is polar bears do not hibernate, but polar bears have an ability to survive the winter. So what's happened is I've created a really well organized and well written paragraph just by filling in my information. So at this time, we would be able to type this up into our rough draft for our informational essay, and we've already got one whole paragraph finished. I have what I would like for you to do for the end of our time together. I've got a Pear Deck that I've put onto Google Classroom, and so I'd like for you to go to that. This is going to help me to know that you were with me today, you understood everything today, that I didn't go too fast through everything. So if you could please get onto Pear Deck, that will be able to help me. I can give you some feedback. There's some great questions about your paper, and I'm going to give you some feedback, okay? So why don't you guys go ahead and get onto that? That would pretty much conclude my lesson with students. And so I just wanted to share with you that I've got my resources as examples for students on Google Classroom, so they have them both digitally and they can have them as paper. It's up to them. Every learner is going to be different, so I want to have both options available. And I want them to be able to use those, access those on Google Classroom as much as they want to. And it's not really for them to copy, but it's definitely used as a model for them. Especially the struggling writers, they will learn so much more from that, putting their own information, spinning it onto, you know, using mine, than if I just left them. And then I would definitely use Pear Deck. It's a great way to interact with students, just to make sure that they're with me. And they can, you know, respond in various ways on Pear Deck about the lesson, and so this could easily be used on Pear Deck, and I can provide immediate feedback, and so that's great. I guess that's pretty much it. I hope that this lesson works and makes sense for K-12. I'm very excited to hear how I did. So thanks so much for watching.